Are you good to go?
Yes.
Excellent. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Talk to Danielle podcast. I am your host, Danielle C. Baker. And before I introduce you, my next guest, don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe to whichever channel you're listening or watching. And today, I'm very excited to introduce my guest because I've been watching her for a couple of years at least, I think. And I just get excited because we do share the same passion, and she just shines when she does her work. I have Miss Aishah Baig with me, and she does Storytime with Miss Baig. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Danielle. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. So excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And it's funny because for those who are listening right now, before the recording, I was just telling Ms. Baig that I was excited when I saw her pop up on the Zoom call. I was like, "Oh, I'm talking to her for real." I'm just a big fan, and I was almost starstruck when I saw her. So I want to thank you. And again, storytelling is very important to both of us. We both work in the education system, and I just love it from the song in the beginning to get the kids all excited about reading, and to have this variety of different books that you make accessible to people. So I wanted to, before I go into the importance of reading to our children, could you kind of briefly share your story with us and how you got to where you are now?
Sure. I'll be happy to. I began my journey of reading on social media when I created my YouTube channel back in 2020 with 306 videos uploaded and 370 subscribers. Soon after, my family and friends had suggested that I should open an Instagram page. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that will work. Maybe it won't work. I don't know. So I have recorded and uploaded over 650 stories with over 1,300 followers. I've been an educator for more than 20 years. And, when COVID happened, everything ceased. So that meant my job as a preschool teacher for 11 years. And that meant that I had to take a step back and find something that I need to do. And it got me thinking that summer, I'm like, wait a minute, I love teaching. I still want to reach out to families, reach out to children, instill the love of reading. What should I do? So I have always had the support of my family and friends, and they suggested, hey, open up a YouTube channel. I'm like, really? Is it going to work for me? No, come on. I'm too shy. I can't do it. So then 2020, of October came, and I said, let God do whatever he can. So let me begin. So then I began my YouTube channel, my promo video I uploaded. And then from soon after, I always got books from the library. That was my first thing. I loved reading. So getting books from the library, and then I would read them and record them. I know how many times I had to edit the first few hundred times that I did.
Yeah.
But it improved every single day. And here I am now with my Instagram page, and I don't even have to edit anymore. I just record and upload. So super exciting.
That is amazing. And I love that you mentioned that, because that leap of faith is terrifying sometimes. It's exciting, but terrifying at the same time, especially with the whole technology part of it. So it's nice that you passed that on. If anybody is thinking of starting, it doesn't have to be perfect right away. We just kind of...
I'm still learning to this day. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. And your videos do look great. I love it. Just they kind of draw me in every time. So it's good. From your experience, because a lot of people are dreading story times now, and that's what I've noticed from my experience in schools or parents. Everybody's so busy, we kind of put that aside, but or they just find it's hard to get a child to sit down and listen in on the story. So there's that old traditional way of reading that changes a little bit. But from your experience, what is a simple way to get children interested in reading?
The best possible way is, as an educator, as you notice, I always change my backdrop. That gets me excited. That gets me
Mhm.
interested with a theme or a scheme that I wanted to do. It gets me excited. And then this way, parents, when they watch me, they say, "Oh, she's doing this kind of theme now. Let's get excited. Let's get books about jungle
Yeah.
animals, or we have for winter, we have for spring, spring animals, things like that will interest you. We want parents to be able to get the children excited for reading, whether it be when they're going on a road trip, they will be looking at signs, counting the cars, finding out what's in front of them, what's in the sides of them. How about going to the park? The number one thing parents do that I would like to encourage parents, that write words on post-it notes, put them all around your house so your child can learn to read those words. These little techniques really help them get engaged, get them excited. You say, "Okay, John, why don't you come and help me? We're going to have these post-it notes. What's the first word that you love that you want to write for us?" And spelling doesn't count, honestly, for a 3, 4, 5, and even a 6-year-old. Spelling is not important. As long as they can understand the picture and they can read the word, right? So that gets the
Yeah.
children excited that they are leaders. They are becoming the leaders of reading because they are interested, because parents are interested. But remember, reading is instilled even before birth. And I had mentioned that when I did my YouTube promo, that reading begins at birth, when parents to be read to the children while the baby is in the mom's womb. They create the nursery. They create the whole nursery with books, stuffed animals, everything you can think of. They are creating an environment for their child from the very beginning. That child
Mm.
comes home, they see the nursery, they look at the books, the stuffed animals. Reading begins right there. This is an elephant, or this is a giraffe. Your words as parents, what you are saying to your child is reading. They are learning the words, they are learning the environment that you are in. So reading is very important to children, where parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, they are going to the library, taking their children to the library to get them excited. "Oh, we're going to get 4 books of your choice. Which one do you want?" And all the books for nursery, preschool, pre-K, they have picture books. So many variety of picture books. Just has a picture and your child will tell you the story. That's what's exciting. Your
Yeah.
child looking at the picture that has no words, but that child is telling you the story. And that's amazing. Your heart gets full because honestly, you like, my child is reading, even though there's no
Mhm.
words. So the parent, relatives, anybody who's in charge of the children, guardians, they have to want to get excited to have their child, who they are taking care of, get excited to read.
Yeah. And I
Songs
like
and
that.
dance, song and movement is also one other way. Being a preschool teacher, song and dance and movement was the one thing that we started with our day as a routine, right? And then we move on to the other areas of, like, the house area, the art area, the reading area, the library, math and science area. Everything is about reading. The toys, the manipulatives that we have in the classrooms, everything is about reading words, doing numbers. Everything is a part of growing and learning. So,
Yeah. Oh, and I'm really happy you brought that up, because a lot of people get caught up on the reading part where you have to sit and spell out the words and say that. And it's so much more than that. Like you said, it starts from the beginning, just learning, rhyming,
mhm.
counting, that all of that is all part of reading. And it does get the kids excited when it's more interactive like that. That's great. It's going to be a similar question, the next one that I have, but just slightly different, is what would be your advice, how to help children who may be struggling, who may be showing signs of struggling when they're reading?
um, I know my children, when they were growing up, as an educator, I was also a teacher at that time, and I had support of family, and my family and in-laws, they helped, right? So we also had PBS Kids. Everybody knows PBS Kids is a way to learn and grow with their children. So even that being on for an hour to enable the enrichment of, some of the shows like Arthur, Barney. There was what is it? What is that? I forgot the name. Mr. Y. I forgot that.
Yeah.
I forgot the name.
I forget too. It's been a while. I forgot.
I know. Super Y. It's
there
Super Y. Yeah. So all these little shows that show the excitement of how to read, how to learn. It enables you. Picture books, little games that you can do. For example, even word games, the puzzles that are at home that you want them to be excited. You want them to want to learn. Reading cannot be forced. You cannot force your child to read unless your child is ready. There are some children who are ready to read as little as 2 years old. We have heard that, 2.5. And there are some who are ready at 4. You can't force reading, because when you force reading, they digress. They get more scared. They don't want to be learning that. Of course, we have to have resources that are provided for us to enable the children to want to learn to read. Resources that are available at your school, at your religious area. Call, ask, go online. There are so many resources out there that can help your child to learn to read and give you the confidence. Once you have the confidence, then you are enabling for the children to learn as well, to be confident.
Yeah. And that's such an important message to send out, to say, don't force reading. And that's something that we do. We stress so much that, our child must be ready for school. We don't want them to be behind, because we know what that's like once you're showing signs of being behind on your reading at school. And so there's a stress involved on the parents already, and they kind of pass that on to their child. So it can't work. And that was actually leading up to my next question for parents who worry so much that their child may not be keeping up with their reading skills. And like you said, that's why I thought it was a very important message. Don't force it. It will come. You just got it. You have to give it some time, or the time that they need. What kind of encouragement would you tell parents who, you mentioned a little bit in the last question, but what kind of encouragement would you give parents to say it's okay, just keep going? And how could they notice the red flags if there is something that they should worry about?
So out of the 11 years that I was teaching preschool, almost all of the 11 years, parents were like, so when is my child going to start reading? I was like, and I kept continuously telling them, in preschool, we learn the rules and the routines of a classroom, walking in, putting things in the cubby, finding their place, where do we use the bathroom? And this is reading. This is a type of reading where the child is learning routines. And that's key, important, the foundations of learning. And the first 5 months of our preschool year was to learn the routines of the classroom. And then I would be like, once they learn this, if they are showing me that they are reading, we will move on, and we can show different strategies through games, through play, that they love the reading. Like I said, you cannot force it. There were some children who came to the preschool classroom who were reading. Yes, they were reading like the small books, like Bob books. They were reading some words. Again, you have a classroom of 20, 24 kids. You really don't have the time to have that one-on-one with that child. You have the chance to, maybe if everyone is playing, you can sit with that child for a few minutes, but encourage them to play with the others, but then let the parents know that, oh, hey, I noticed that Jessica is learning. She's reading. That is amazing. But we are not doing right now as a class. We will encourage her to do more stuff in classroom, and just let it like that. Because learning to grow and learn in preschool with those routines and rule in the classroom is so key importance, because that's what makes them grow and learn and go by stages of the learning with the reading. Because all of my things in the classroom, all my cubbies and everything was labeled. I labeled everything with pictures, And then, and when they go to pre-K, those labels, pictures became words. So they learn from 3 to 4 to 5. They learn to read as they move along. That's in stages. It just not does not come at all at once.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you mentioning that, because I working in preschools as well. We've had parents angry with us,
Yes.
demanding that we sit their children down and learn their ABCs. And I'm trying to explain, and that's what you were saying. There's stages. It's like expecting your newborn to learn to walk right away. You can't. There's some stages they need to turn over first, and then learn to crawl, to work those muscles. And it's the same with reading. So and again, another very important message for parents to know that there are stages to follow, and that your child will get there with the right motivation. And
exactly.
Yeah, if they're stressed out about it, they're going to shut down. They're not going to want to.
And children, Danielle, children learn from other children being in the classroom, their peers. They learn more with their peers than they will learn from adults like teachers and parents. They're seeing their friends, their peers doing something that's fun, and they want to be in on the fun as well. And you will see more conversations among the peers in the classroom than the child talking to the teacher or the instructional assistant. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And that's why learning through play is so important, because as the adult, you get to see where the child is, because you hear the stories that they're telling while they're playing, and you know exactly where they are with their reading skills.
We use the high scope method, and that was when you were observing the child, you took on the notes, and then you categorized their notes to each of the category for high scope. And that's what we use. And that's exactly what we wanted to see, the children's interaction. It's a child-based learning, not teacher-child-based learning. The methods. So,
I love that. Yeah, that in your so many years of experience, have you experienced any unusual ways that children learn to read? Have you seen something that's completely out of the box that you just said, wow, that's incredible?
There are so many stories that I'm banking out right now, but I know I love the fact that children would walk in and they would be like, I want to be the teacher today, and come to the carpet and start the songs, start the routine, the weather, the day of the week. And that's important because they want to be involved from the very beginning. And that's important. Of course, some kids will start dancing or some kids walk away, but that's part of being in a preschool classroom. But the children who wanted to be involved, who got excited, they say, I want to be just like you. We were able to tell them, come, you take the board and you do what you need to do. Tell us, I'll be the student and you be the teacher today. So that gets them encouraged. That gives them confidence to do what they love to do best. And other children also do the same thing. I mean, I don't know. That's not. I don't remember any strange stuff, but cool stuff was kids wanted to be teachers, and that's what they wanted to do.
They do. Yeah, and that kind of leads into what you like to promote: that readers become leaders. That readers become leaders, and that's exactly what that is. You kind of see that they want to take over this self-esteem, their confidence. What would you say, what kind of leadership skills do children learn about leadership when they're learning to read?
They responsibility is one. They take they become responsible, they become kind, compassionate, empathy. They have empathy. They want to be able to please others, to make sure that they can share with others. That's important, sharing and caring and being able to not only impress, but having other children come and become involved in their play. That's important. Leaders, because readers who become leaders are the ones who are the next generation, right? They are we are going to be the followers, they will be the leaders, because they will learn the best way possible to promote the reading that is instilled in them from the very beginning, from parents, guardians, grandparents, and families and relatives.
Yeah. And it's important to have that foundation in the beginning. We talk about leadership a lot with the older children, or middle school even, or high school, but it really does start from the beginning, and reading does that. Yeah, I'm going to move away from all the reading stuff and go on with how do you find, because you're busy, you have your own family, you work, you do your lives as well. So how do you find balance between work and life and everything else that life throws at you?
I have the full support of my husband, my children, my grown children,
Mhm.
whom three of them are married, and my youngest just got engaged. So I have all the time that I have at home. My work doesn't begin till in the afternoon, so the mornings are for me to go live, to record, to go to the library, to get the books. I am able to do that because I do balance my life and my family together. When I come home from work, my family comes over, we have dinner, and my grandson always comes to sleep over on Fridays.
Oh,
Usually,
nice.
when my daughter visits from England, I take the time out from everything, and then I balance that where I take care of my family as well. But I have the having the support of your family, it's key to do what you want to do. My passion, of course, is doing the books, and I have that ability. I have that encouragement, that confidence that has been instilled for many years as being an educator to do this. It is hard. Like I said, I was traveling all month long. I didn't get to do a lot of lives. I didn't get to do so much recording. We were only there for a minimum of 12 days, in and
Mm.
out. And when I'm traveling, I try to take the books with me, and I try to record some stuff or do some promo videos. So I bring my stuff with me. My family laughs. Actually, I took the tripod to Pakistan when I went, and my sister-in-law goes, "Oh, you brought everything with you?" I said, "Yes." It's going to be Pakistan edition. So everywhere I go, I take books, I take my tripod with me and everything. So I'm ready, wherever I am. I want to try to instill the learning and reading anywhere I go, if
Yeah,
I'm able to. So that's important to me. So reading doesn't have to be only at home. It could be traveling as well. So
that's right.
that's my passion. So I'm going to take it anywhere I go.
That's right. You bring the office with you when you
Yes,
travel.
I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do,
And
Danielle.
I did see some of your lives when you were in Pakistan, and just the change of scenery in the back. It was interesting as a child. It'd be like, oh, palm trees, or something is different. The sounds are different, so it's
Yeah.
great. I think it's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty much why we do it as well. Is just because it gives us that flexibility. So
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Do you have any wisdom that you'd like to share with us? Things that you wish you would have known when you were younger that would have made your life easier? Is there anything, advice or wisdom you'd like to share with us?
I wish I knew I would be tech savvy before because I'm not still tech savvy. I literally learned everything that you see that's on camera by myself,
Yeah.
positioning the camera, all the mistakes that I made from the beginning, I start, stop, everything. I learned myself with Instagram, with YouTube, and I improved every single. Now, when I look at my first ever recording on YouTube or Instagram, I'm like, whoa, I've come a long way. That's good. Good job, Aisha. You know, it's hard, honestly, when you have
Yeah.
not because I didn't have any help. Everybody was busy. They have their own lives. I wanted to learn myself because if I didn't learn myself, then I would never get it. You have to
Hmm.
get it thrown at you to learn, to
Yeah.
get somewhere. So that's what it was. So I was, yeah. So I wish I was more tech savvy than my
Oh, that's good. But that's a good message as well to say that, just because you don't know about it doesn't mean you can't do it. Just
yeah.
do it
Keep on
and you'll
going. Yeah.
that's it. That's wonderful. That's a great leadership skill too. So that's very good.
Like
Is
try,
there a
try again, and you'll get it. No one is
try again?
perfect. No one is perfect, but you'll get there,
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a mentor of mine that used to say, get it done and then get it right. So just if you wait for it to be perfect, you'll never get anything
Yeah.
done. So that's
Life
kind of the
isn't
same.
perfect.
Exactly. You just perfect it. Do you have any new projects coming up or anything that you're working on currently that you'd like to share with us?
I've been so blessed since I opened up the Instagram page, getting DMs by various authors and illustrators. Just that excitement of getting books in the mail I just get excited. I just got two books in the mail just yesterday, and I'm so excited just to promote their books, to create the reel, recording, and then having them join on a live session. I just love when authors and illustrators, they just DM me, they message me, oh, we would like you to promote or read our books, and please. And I'm honored. I really am honored. It gets me excited. I've had one Pakistani author, 3 European authors, and the rest American authors, and 1 Canadian. So about 15 authors that have reached out to me. And it's such a blessing indeed. Honestly, I'm not doing this for me or the praise or anything like that. Everyone who does know me now, they know that is my passion. And if anyone wants to send their books, they just tell me, we want you to read. We love the way you read. We love the way your actions are. You're promoting our books. That's great. And I want to be able to help anybody. I'm an educator. I'll always be an educator, a lifelong learner. And if that means helping others reach where they want to be reached at, I'm there to help them. And I know in the future, one day, I don't know when, if I write a book, they will be there for me too. Everybody asks me, Aishah, write a book. I'm like, I'm not there yet. I still want to be part of reading other books, be there for them. And when that light does come on and I create a book, I will be there. I just don't know. But I just love receiving books. I love to promote the authors and illustrators' books always, and go live as well.
Oh, that's nice. And it kind of adds value to the work that you do when authors are reaching out to you and saying, we'd like for you to present. And I think that's wonderful. Actually, I'm going to ask you a bit later, but before I ask how we can reach you and how people can reach out to you, it's a question that I asked. A little girl asked me this for an interview once, and she would interview a series of adults, and she would ask them that question because everybody asked her that question, and the adults would not give her an answer. So she would get frustrated, and her mother would say, well, just stop asking the question. It's like, no, I'm going to get somebody who will answer. And when she asked me, I answered it. And she turned around and said, you see, Mom, I told you somebody would get it. So I promised her I would ask anybody that I interview, I would ask them this one particular question. And that question is, what would you like to be when you grow up?
I want to be a social media influencer for reading.
Yes.
That's exactly what I want to do. There are so many influencers out there. I want to be an influencer that will enable everyone to love reading. And that's exactly what my answer is.
Oh, that's great. And you're doing it. So that's wonderful. I love this question because it's endless. There's so many different ways that you can.
I hope she's happy that I did answer that question.
I keep in touch with her mom sometimes, and it's every single time. I think there's one time I didn't ask, but the other times I always ask it. And I love the reaction of people. There's some of them know right away, just like you, they know right. Other ones, they have to think about it. Did she really ask me when I grew up, or when I was a child, what I wanted to be? So I'm
already a teacher. I always wanted to be a teacher. So now I want to be an influencer of reading to teach.
That's great. Oh, that's wonderful. I love it. So how can people reach you? How can they follow you? I will add that information in the description of and in the comments. But if you could just kind of share with us how people can follow you and see you in action and reach out to you if they want to send you their books.
Yes. You can follow me at Storytime with Mrs. Baig on Instagram, Storytime with Mrs. Baig on YouTube channel. And I also have a Gmail, storytimewithmsbaig@gmail.com. And I'm on both YouTube and Instagram.
Excellent. And I'll add that in.
And you can direct message me as everyone has been directly messaging me through Instagram, and I've been corresponding with all the authors and illustrators through that. And some of them have corresponded through my Gmail. So I have a separate Gmail for Storytime. So Storytime with Miss Baig.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Aishah,
Thank
for
you.
joining me today. I'm so happy. Like I said, I'm all giddy because I love the work that you do, and I'm really happy that you came on and shared your story and validated parents, adults on the work that they do to get their children to read. So, thank you again for joining me.
Thank you,
And
Danielle. Thank you for having me. Such an honor
yeah,
and pleasure to finally meet you in person as well.
that's right. That's right. We'll have to do this again at one
Yes,
point.
I would love it. Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
'cause I could talk to
Absolutely.
you. I could talk to you all day before we recorded. For those who are listening, we were talking, and I could have just sat all day. I was drinking my tea, and I'm thinking, oh, I could learn so much more from from
Let's
Miss
say I
Baig.
had my coffee before I started, or I would have been asleep.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I usually have coffee. This
Kidding.
today I decided to switch it up.
I'm kidding. I usually that's my breakfast time. 9:30 is my breakfast. So
Okay,
we're all good.
that's
Thank you
good.
so much. Thank you for
Thank you.
having me, Danielle. I had such a wonderful time. It's such an
Oh,
honor.
that's Thank you. It was great having you on. And for everybody listening or watching, don't forget again to follow Ms. Baig Aisha on Instagram, YouTube, and look at her videos. Get your kids excited about reading. And don't forget to hit that like, follow, and subscribe button. And until next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and we'll talk soon.